Hi, welcome to the Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abassi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor. And I just want to give you a little reminder about your book of the month. It is called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. And I am probably 2/3 of the way through and am getting a lot out of it, we'll say. So I encourage you to listen to it on Audible or read it. It's available at Amazon, Audible. So it's really good, and it's been recommended to me several times. And I can tell why after only listening for the first quarter of it. Maybe even just like the first hour, I was like, okay, yeah, this is good. So I recommend the book of the month. And then our listener challenge for May is creative expressions. So granted, I got a head start on my creative expressions for the month. I finished one today, but it's not fair because I started like last month on this and I already knew what the listener challenge was going to be. But I have other creative expressions in my pocket ready to go, including a quilt that I am going to be finishing this week. And then I've got something else in store. So I'm just continuing on my creative road. It makes me feel happy. So hopefully you can find a project to work on and express yourself. And if you don't mind, take a before and after picture and send them over to me at rachel@recoverydailypodcast.com. And if you give me permission, I will put it up on the website and we can share all of our projects. So looking forward to see what you have. And today I'm going to talk about the tools that make our recovery possible. And this is yet another parallel between my sobriety program and my stroke recovery. So these TheraSpecs glasses that I purchased for my vestibular migraines are a tool that I use for post-stroke, and they have allowed me to start living more freely. And they remind me of the tools in my sobriety program that also enabled me to start living more freely. The only way to acquire tools like these everyday tools, is through taking action in our recovery process. I had to do the work, do the research, make network connections and all of that to find out about these nifty glasses. And it's freaking amazing to me how much they help me not have headaches. If I were to take my glasses off right now, I would start having head pain almost immediately. So they are just huge for me. I still have to be really careful what I do, even when I have them on, because I shouldn't get myself to the point that if I take these glasses off, I have sharp pains. But that's just the impact that they're having on my life. So I have to actively engage with my recovery tools daily to maintain this level of free living, just the way that I have to keep my glasses on. They help me to manage my migraine pain and help make my daily life more manageable. Just like attending meetings, engaging with my recovery community help me alleviate the internal pain that is sitting there and waiting with my alcoholism. So these tools, they don't magically solve problems, all of our problems, but they do provide the support that's needed to deal with life effectively. And it's about using what works to enhance our ability to live well. My glasses have not taken away my disorder, but they have enabled me. They've given me the power to fill in the blank. I can do so much more when I have these with me, when I wear these regularly. It has really changed everything for me. I think I feel like it's been about a month now that I've had them, and it's just made the biggest difference for me. So just like these glasses, if I were to remove sobriety meetings and the 12 steps from my life, that pain would come back and would be almost immediate, just like my head pain if I removed the glasses. So there is a common misconception that recovery is a passive experience, like perhaps resting and enjoying life, the basic needs of life without the daily grind of a job. And I have been fearful of that. I've been fearful that people think that I am just sitting around just enjoying life. And that's not accurate. I'm actually working really hard to enjoy life. And recovery is active. It requires work. It's not passive. Just like my recover from alcoholism, my stroke recovery is active as well. One of the things that I struggled with in the beginning, I'm going to say I still struggle with it, is resting. I feel like when I'm resting, I'm not doing anything. And I'm not the only one. I've run across lots of posts on social media and podcasts I've listened to, YouTube videos that I've listened to about how important resting is, and what, even though it feels like you're not doing anything, there's a lot of stuff happening inside of you. And that is your body is doing something. Your hands may not be doing anything. It may not be getting from point A to point B, but in the process of resting, your body is doing the things that it needs to do. And if we don't rest, then our bodies don't get to do that. And then our bodies are not getting to exercise their processes that we need in order to physically heal. So in recovery, we're constantly taking steps to strengthen our roots in physical healing. And if you are in the sober community, strengthen our roots in sobriety. So every day I'm doing something proactive for my recovery, whether it's attending a sobriety meeting, attending a stroke support group, a vestibular support group, speaking with women in my network, my sobriety network, or heck, I have a stroke network now, stroke survivors, vestibular patients, or practicing mindfulness, meditating, self-care. Self-care is where I spend the most of my time, whether it is just taking care of my body physically, because the less I move, the more things are starting to hurt in my body. So I need to take care, exercise my body. There's a lot of exercise, I think, that we're unaware of that's happening when we're working in a career. There's lots of energy that is being burned with the intellectual processes that are happening, but also walking around our buildings and stuff, walking up and down the stairs, all of these things. Not so much when we started working from home, but I was still walking around because I'm just kind of obsessed with walking. So I was outside running, walking my dogs and that kind of thing. Hopefully if you do work from home, that you're able to do that as well. When I don't, in this recovery period, when my self-care is disproportionate, I can feel the repercussions of that. I've been dealing with a ton of back pain, and I started going to a chiropractor last Friday. So I have another appointment on Wednesday of this week. One of the issues is that Boris, the bulldog, pulled my back out when I was holding him on the leash once. But right after I had my stroke, I actually, when I got out of the hospital, I was dying to walk my Weimaraner, Autumn, the Weimaraner. And I took her on her first walk out of the hospital, and she yanked on, like severely yanked on the leash. And I pulled a muscle all the way from my neck down to my lower back. And it's been hurting ever since then. And the chiropractor was like, why have you been dealing with this chronic pain for 3 years? And I'm like, because I had priorities, I was trying to deal with this pain in my head. So one of the core principles of recovery is learning to face life on life's terms. And when I first heard that in my meetings, I thought, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory what that means, but I think it's worth saying that this means accepting the realities of life without trying to escape through alcohol or drugs. It's dealing with challenges in life head on, not hiding from them, getting uncomfortable, acknowledging that you're uncomfortable, and working through it, not around it. The only way to it is through it. I heard that somewhere along the way, and it stuck with me. So facing life, accepting realities, adapting, and changing is active. Escaping is passive and even defensive, I would say. Recovery may sometimes look like we're just sitting back and living, that we're enjoying every day as it comes. We're not facing life on life's terms. But isn't that precisely what recovery is? We are facing life on life's terms. There is no control over what happened to me. And action is what true recovery is all about. It's not enough in sobriety. It's not enough to quit drinking. It's not enough to log on to some Zoom meetings. It's not enough to do any one thing just to sustain my sobriety. Just like with my vestibular disorder, it's not enough for me to go to the therapist. It's not enough for me to go to my psychiatrist. I have to do all of these things. I have to open up my toolbox every day and make sure that I engage with each and every tool at least once per day. I want a better life. I have to work for it. And that work is going to a meeting when I'd rather stay home, not drinking when times get hard, praying when I feel hopeless, reaching out for help when I feel like I'm isolating. It's doing the next right thing, even when I don't feel like it. So let's talk about how we apply these tools and take action in real life. So, for example, my handy TheraSpecs aren't a cure for my vestibular migraines, but a management tool. Again, if I take them off, my head will hurt. I tried it right before I hit record. I was like, let me just make sure this is true. Yeah, it's true. Similarly, my daily sobriety meetings, praying, meditating, and practicing the steps in all of my affairs to the best of my ability don't remove my alcoholism. My glasses don't remove my disorder. My all of the actions that I take in sobriety don't remove my alcoholism. They help me to manage it in a way that allows me to live a happier, more fulfilled life. Recovery is an active process. So I was thinking about, I get up every morning and go to my 7 a.m. meeting. I still do it. I've been doing it for years now. Since COVID, I've been doing it. And just like that, I wake up. I didn't even realize this, but I also wake up and put on my rose-colored glasses each morning. And the pun is intended there, right? I'm putting on my rose-colored glasses. That means not only am I putting these babies on, but I'm also taking the tools out of my toolbox that enable me to see the world in a more joyful way. Each action that I take, no matter how small it is part of building a sturdy, sober, joyful, and pain-free life. So think about what tools you have in your recovery. If you're not in recovery, even though I say everybody's recovering from something, if you're not in recovery, what tools are you using in your life to sustain your joy and keep your anxiety level down, keep any sort of depression that you might deal with in a manageable state? What are the tools that you have? And most importantly, are you actively engaging with these tools on a daily basis? It's so easy to pick up these glasses and put them on when my head hurts. But what I need to do and what I am doing, because I've seen the results from wearing these glasses consistently, putting my glasses on before I feel the pain. That's what I need to do. And that's what sobriety is all about. That's what stroke recovery is all about. And being a vestibular patient, vestibular therapy, that's what we're doing. We're doing the action before the pain so that we don't have to feel the pain. And I have too many times, my life has been in a situation where I'm feeling the pain and then I'm doing the work. And today, what I've learned to do, and it's always progress, not perfection, is do the work so that I don't feel the pain. And a giganto lesson that I've learned since I've been sober and in stroke recovery as well is consistency. I can't put these glasses on just on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I have to put the glasses on every day when I wake up. Just like I have to go to my sobriety meeting every day when I wake up. Nobody is telling me I have to go. Nobody even knows that I'm going. Honestly, I mean, the people in the meeting know when I show up. If perhaps I oversleep, which has happened a few times recently, because I'm staying up too late and I'm trying to change that today. They'll call me and they'll be like, "Where are you? Are you okay? You weren't in the meeting," because that's how consistent I am. Slow and steady wins the race every time. And that is the way to heal. That's the way that I have been able to heal, is consistency. That's the way that I've been able to stay sober, is by being consistent. That's the way that I've been able to save money, is consistency. Just don't let up. Just keep doing the same thing. And when you do the same thing in small amounts every day, it's pain-free. It's kind of like my vestibular therapy. What I've been asked to do is, when I go walk my dog around the block, for 10 seconds, I'm not going to do it because my head is really vulnerable right now, but stare at one thing in front of me and move my head, tilt my head up and down and up and down, but still looking at the same sign or tree in front of me. And that's 10 seconds. That's it. 10 seconds every day. And that is consistency. So I do it every time I walk my dog for 10 seconds. And when I first started doing it, and this was probably a month ago, maybe not a month ago, but it really bothered me to do it. And now I don't know if it makes me feel differently, other than I feel more confident. I'm not so scared to move my head. I think part of my back pain that I've been dealing with is that I've been so stiff, afraid to move my head, because I don't want anything. When I move my head, the world moves, in front of me. And I try to avoid that. So I think that my neck is having issues from that. So it's always something. I know, it's always something. Consistency. So thank you so much for joining me today on the Recovery Daily podcast. I will talk to you tomorrow.